Well, today's woman on top is Maria Bertrand. And Maria has an incredibly original story. During COVID, she was in a very dark space until one day she found a tiny 2-day-old bird she later called Happy. That little bird inspired a moving documentary called Finding Happy, which is now being launched on Gaia. She's also going to be premiering it in Canada at the Female Eye Festival, and also next month at the Awareness Film Festival in Santa Monica. Now, Maria went in deeply to her grief, her struggles, but also her joys along the way, and everything she learned through this tiny little bird who transformed her life. It's a great reminder that some tiny little thing can change all of our lives any day of our lives. So join us. Maybe you have an animal in your life, and I certainly do. You can see them moving the curtains behind me, who you want to get even closer to. Well, Maria's got lots of tips. My name is Zoe Scott, and this is my podcast, Confessions at the Cabana. I was born in England, and I chased my dreams across the ocean, landing in America, and then driving all the way to California to live my rock and roll life. I've journeyed from living in the wild to lighting up the stages all around Los Angeles, and I've got plenty of stories to share. But this podcast isn't about me. It's about creating space for others to share their stories, stories that inspire, stories that bring us together, and stories that heal. So come join us here in Malibu at the Cabana.
Here we go.
Oh, Maria, it is such a pleasure. I am so excited to meet you. I saw your documentary. It moved me so deeply. And I am already a massive fan of her and her Sparrow and her beautiful documentary, Finding Happy.
Thank you. Yeah, I am excited to be here. You and I seem to have some similarities.
A lot in common, right?
Yeah, some kindred spirits.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to meet you and be able to sit with you.
I felt that when you were driving up. I was like, here she is,
Yay.
new friend.
I love it.
So let's start at the beginning. Your childhood. Did you have this passion for animals?
Yes, very much so. My mom, to this day, she just says, I came out of the womb different. Like when it comes to animals, I always had this connection and almost a way of communicating with animals that's just sort of innate, it just is. I just understand animals really well. And in the documentary, our call to action is, are you listening? So I think I just, even as a child, just somehow knew how to listen to animals, and that's how you form your real, true connections and bonds. And so I've always been really connected to the natural world, and not only animals like dogs and cats, because when we say our pets, we often think of dogs and cats, but for me, it was anything. I used to walk caterpillars around in a stroller, in a baby stroller instead of a doll. The dolls made no sense to me. I'm like, they're not even alive.
So yeah, that was one of the powerful things I got from your documentary was it's not just cats and dogs. You know, there are all these creatures that if you're open to them, they're open to you. And of course, your big inspiring story started one day when you found a
baby sparrow. Yeah.
Happy.
I was happy. I found Happy. I hadn't named him yet because I found he was a day old. So a sparrow at a day old, he just looked like a little wad of bubble gum on the street. And I was going through a horrible time. The world was going through a horrible time.
Because it was during COVID, right?
Exactly. It was in 2020. COVID had hit. I lost everything overnight. So all my income, I'd just gone through a breakup. So I had just moved out. I was literally renting a room. And I had my dog with me, who was my lifelong best friend, for 15 years. Moon was with me through everything. Moon was this beautiful, hairless Peruvian Inca. She was a rescue. And they're the spiritual dogs from Peru.
Wow.
Yeah, the spiritual temple dogs. And so Moon,
I'm getting chills. I think I can feel Moon here with us. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure she's here. She's always, always here. I have a crazy story to tell you after because I know you'll be open to it. But Moon got very sick. And so I would just go for one run a day just to kind of clear my head and try and pull myself out of this dark place that I was already in. Really for Moon, because I needed just that reprise, that to get some endorphins up so I could have energy to care for her. And I
Wow.
I was 2 blocks from the place I was renting a room, and I turned a corner and I saw this adult bird pecking something in the street, and I was like, "Is that a crab?" Which I was nowhere near the ocean. I don't know why my brain went there. I got closer and realized it was like a day-old baby bird, like eyes closed, just pink little blob. When sparrows are born, they have 0 feathers, so they're just skin. And he was injured. He had a big wound on his top beak, and I just couldn't leave him in the middle of the street. He would have got run over in like the next 30 seconds. So I just picked him up.
Mother instinct.
Mother instinct, right? And I've always cared for animals. People in the neighborhood would bring me birds that flew under their windows or baby birds that they found. And so I just turned around and ran home.
That's our common ground, because my father was the person in the neighborhood. People would bring the animals and I would end up raising them like birds, a lamb, a duck. So that's why I'm passionate about your story. But tell us what happened next.
There we go. I love that. See the connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I turned around, ran home with this tiny baby bird thinking, well, I'm just going to give him a place to pass. That's really what I thought, because I didn't know how to care for him. Every rescue was closed because it was COVID. So I couldn't find anyone to care for him. So I just did the best I knew how. I had never cared for a bird that little. And I didn't even know what kind of bird he was, because I've never had like birds. I wasn't a bird person. So I'm an all animal person, but never had a bird to care for. So I brought him home, and then I just started doing what I read online in how to care for him. And I would be out in the garden in my underwear at like 5 a.m, like looking for grubs. They don't eat earthworms, never earthworms. There are only like 1 or 2 birds that can
So
actually
really
eat
learning
earthworms.
on the job about how to
Yeah.
take care of this little bird.
Yeah, and they go to sleep from sun. So he would need to eat every 15 to 20 minutes from sun up to sundown.
Wow.
So it was like, thank goodness I was home the whole time, and it was a pandemic, because I don't know how I would care for a little baby bird. So I started feeding him, and he, every morning I'd wake up, I'd check on him, and there he was with his big mouth open, just like yelling for food. And I was like, oh, he survived. And I started sharing the story on my personal Instagram. And I think people were just so looking for some kind of growth and life and happiness and connection, and that it really was resonating with people. They were like, how's the bird today? And how's the bird? And I had him for 7 days. And every day, more and more people were getting invested in his story.
Oh.
And then I found a rehabber, and I gave him to the rehabber.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Yeah.
I get chills and I feel tears, because I remember with my little creatures when I gave them to their next. What happened then?
Well, it's interesting because I'd lost everything. COVID had hit. I lost all my income. I had lost my relationship. My dog was dying. I was like,
Yeah, I remember in your documentary, you said it was a very dark moment. How did that feel? Like how?
oh gosh, I'm a person who has always been able to like pull myself up by the bootstraps and just keep going. I mean, I have a resilience that I know not a lot of people have. I mean, I've stuck around in this industry, which we'll get into later, for this long. And when I'm really passionate about something, I have no choice. I'm all heart. I'm just all heart. So you just go with it, right?
I'm like that. I totally follow my muse.
Yeah.
Go!
It's a beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
think I was watching a Martin Scorsese, I believe it is, his masterclass, and he was going to be a priest, and he was talking about this in his masterclass, and he said that it's the same thing as directing. It's a calling. Like making film, it's a calling. It's not, you don't choose it. It chooses you, type of thing. And I was
Right.
like, oh my gosh.
A bit like your
That
baby
makes
bird.
sense. And the
I
baby
believe
bird.
the animals choose us.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, 1,000% they choose us.
Spirit
Absolutely.
guides.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That to me is not even in question when that animals choose us. We think we're in control, and whereas I think we have it a little twisted and backwards. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, so I did give Happy away.
What did it feel like the day you went
Horrendous.
home?
Horrendous. I was crying the whole way home. A grown woman crying the whole way home because I
About
gave
a
this
2-day
baby
old.
bird. Yeah, I'd had him
Oh
for I think
my
it was 7 days. I kept him alive, and I dropped him off on her doorstep. The rehabber never met her because it was COVID.
Did she come out and take
No,
him? You
she
were
did
supposed
not when I was there though.
she told you just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just devastated, and then I was that crazy woman who was like, "Hi, how's the sparrow? Hi, how's the sparrow? Hi, how's the?" by text message, and she sent me pictures of him in a nest with other baby birds, and I was like, "Okay, well that feels good." Like, because I wanted to. with
A better
wildlife.
life. You want better for your children, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't pick him up to own him. I picked him up to help him. So you do what's right for the animal. And that's, I think, where some people kind of get a little bit lost with.
Right.
And I understand imprinting, and I did not cuddle. At this point, he wasn't even happy yet because I hadn't named him. I didn't cuddle the bird. I just called him the bird. And I was like, I didn't cuddle him or anything. I was feeding him as his mom would do. And I was very careful not to have him bond with me. And so, but I bonded with him. That was the problem. That's why I was crying.
Right.
And so
Sounds like a bad love story. Someone does.
yeah, kind of sounds like my love life, actually.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into that later, right?
Perfect.
So what happened next?
So next, I get a message from her after she had him for 2 days, and her vet came to look at him, and they said the damage to his top beak is so extensive that he won't survive, and they're gonna have to euthanize him.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh my, like this gut punch.
Yeah.
And then there was an unless you want to adopt him, and I was like, what? I can adopt a wild bird? Because house sparrows are an invasive species here in the U.S., there are no laws around, in California anyways, I think it might be state by state, but in California, you can actually legally keep a non-native species.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the lucky break for you and Happy.
Yeah, because if I found a house finch, for instance, they're native here, it would have been completely illegal for me to keep him, and they just would have euthanized him. Yeah, so I went and picked him up. I was there in 20 minutes. I was there. I was like, yep.
Woo!
Right there.
Give me my baby back.
Yeah.
What happened next? You had.
I had to learn how to be a sparrow mom. So I got home. I immediately Googled how to care for a sparrow and also lifespan of a sparrow.
Ha!
And they were like, oh, in the wild, it says in the wild 4 to 5 years, but in captivity, the oldest living sparrow was like 21 or something. And
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
And keep in mind, I was renting a room in someone's house.
Wow.
And I had no idea how long COVID was. None of us knew. We had no clue what was going on with COVID. So now I'm in a room with my dying dog
Oh gosh.
and baby Happy. And I named him Happy because his damaged beak makes him look like he's smiling all the time.
Oh,
So-
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a dear story. And then you started the process of bonding with this beautiful
Oh yeah,
little.
immediately. Once I got the go ahead that it was okay and this was the best thing for him,
Yeah.
then I was like, oh my gosh, and I started bonding with him. And it's really important to me to be able to communicate with my animals because then you can really provide enrichment and a really happy life for them.
I really got that from your documentary. The moments where I saw this absolutely incredible bond and this, well, as you would say, story between you both. It absolutely made me cry. And the fact that you shared how much darkness you were coming out of, yet opening yourself to love, to be of service to this beautiful little creature. I think it's such amazing, amazing teaching. I'm so excited to see, how many people are impacted by this beautiful story of yours. So what happens? What's the journey with Happy? Are people still invested online now? And
Yeah, Happy's got quite the following. His story, the Dodo did a piece on him, GeoBeats, we've been on the news, global news, different stuff, and his story has been viewed over 40 million times, like just on different platforms. On his social media, so he's on all social platforms as Happy the Sparrow.
yes.
So you can follow his antics and his our communication and our bond and just some fun stuff just to make you smile. So yeah, I'm still very active on social media. And what was very cool in 2020 with his social media, that when it started going viral, was really the messages I was getting from around the world. So like one of the messages that just, it like broke me and put me back together. It gets me so emotional because
Feel free to
I'm
cry
so
in the
sorry.
Cabana. Everybody cries in the Cabana.
Right?
Feel free.
well, it's so crazy when you're in such a dark place. Like I was in a place where I didn't know how to fix myself.
Yeah.
And I think the resources that were available to us at that time, there weren't any.
Have we got any tissues?
Oh, I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll use my shirt. But I was getting messages from around the world that like like I'm going through chemo. I can't see my family, and you and Happy made me smile today. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
right. So you go, well,
That
I'm going to
is
do a daily
so
dose of Happy.
profound. That
Yeah.
is so deep. You
That
realize that
connection.
it wasn't only, but I think when I hear about you talking about the caterpillars, you had the special skill set to bring Happy, to the world. The fact that he broke his beak and he's eating with his tongue and he would have just been thrown away. But this little bird has brought so much joy to you and to so many in the world. It is such a profound teaching. I just love it. So I love the bit where he makes the nest for you because you're his mate.
Yep.
That must have been absolutely charming, right?
Oh yeah, because I've never built a nest with a bird before. I don't know how many people have, but
Yeah.
I certainly hadn't. And so, and I think how that happened was him really me. So it's me listening to him because we have a way to communicate. So Happy and I communicate. He can't vocalize like a parrot can, but he can communicate in other ways. It's just like when you have a human who's nonverbal, we find ways to communicate. And so with Happy, he taps my mouth when
Yeah, I saw
to
that.
mean yes, right? Yeah. So there's different ways we communicate, and it's in the nuances in the behavior. Just like with humans, we can kind of gauge someone's behavior or where they're at or their mood by observing them without them even saying anything, especially
Yeah.
when we know them very well.
I think that's a profound teaching. And I think certainly with my poodles, after seeing your documentary, I was like, yes, that's maybe what I've got to do more. I got to listen to them and try and understand because they're always communicating.
Yeah.
It's so divine. So how do you do that? How do you learn to listen? You just observe and watch and...
I think listening with your entire being instead of just listening with your ears. So it's all of it, right? Yeah, it's observing, it's feeling, it's all the things. It's just this, because we do it subconsciously. We just aren't, we don't do it consciously, I think is the thing. And when you start doing it consciously, and the best way to do that is with beings that literally cannot verbalize and speak to you. And it is a great teaching for, I think, each individual. I mean, Happy's taught me so many different things about myself. And when
What
we
are the
learn,
top ones?
oh gosh, grace, because I didn't have much grace for myself. And that was big. I struggled with confidence. And so learning to have grace for myself in my darkest moment.
Because the sparrow showed you love.
He showed me love. It was actually honestly like making the documentary, watching myself in the interview have a breakdown and go, that is not going out ever into anything. I was so mortified by my own sadness, and yet I can have so much empathy for someone else's sadness or a creature on the street. I can have so much empathy for that, and I had none for myself.
Oh, wow.
And so making the documentary and being able to actually literally a mirror, see myself and go,
Right.
ew, that's awful. Like, don't. Whereas if it was anyone else,
So you learned through having love for him
yeah,
how to give, because you had to have so much patience and grace, right?
it teaches you patience. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely patience.
Yeah, I
Definitely
find with
patience.
these guys, they want to connect all the time.
Yeah.
They want to love, connect, have fun, go
Yeah.
for walks. And often my brain is going, go do this, go do that, because we are hardwired now to our phones, to our, and they don't he is so cute because when I start tapping on my phone, he'll actually put his nose under my, did you find Happy doing things
Happy
like,
lands on my phone and taps and pecks my fingers if I'm on it too long. Oh yeah, he's not.
I mean, they are really teachers.
Yeah.
They are like little angels. So where is your relationship now with Happy from where it began?
Constantly growing, constantly bonding. So we are constantly learning from each other, and I can, like, every year the bond gets stronger and the communication gets stronger. So it's really fascinating. I mean, he starts to understand me more and I understand him more. There is so much intelligence in that 34 grams
Wow.
of little feathers.
I saw that from the shooting, like how much he was hooked into your energy. And
Yeah, there's so much intelligence and sentience, and when we think of our pets, they are part of our world, but we are their whole world. So of course they're going to be so attached to us, like we go off and have our lives outside of the home. Happy doesn't go outside. He doesn't, and it's for his safety. And also, a hawk tried to get him through the screen window once, the bathroom
Wow.
screen window, and that little guy won't go near any open doors or open. He's like, nope. He's so
That
smart.
was my boyfriend's question, actually. Does he try and fly out?
Nope.
No,
Never.
he doesn't.
No, I feed a squirrel Miss Petunia with him on my shoulder, and he won't. I have an outdoor squirrel named Miss Petunia. That's a whole other story.
Isn't it amazing that you were in a city of thousands of people, all sorts of people, but nobody had really the grace and empathy to reach you in that dark moment and say, I need your love. I need your, what's going on?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think when something like that global disaster happens, the pandemic, we internalize so much, and one of the big lessons there too for me is to reach out, and you can find ways to connect. And social media ended up being a big connection for me, and seeing how hurt other people were, and going, but I have something to offer. That's such a big thing to feel like you have purpose.
Yes.
Is so big. And when my mom went through a divorce when I was 7, she went into this despair, this dark despair. And what got her out of it was volunteering at the local hospital. And I clocked that as a kid. I saw what that did. Like I could physically see her come out of a dark place through helping others. And so, yeah, it's such a big thing when we help each other and connect with each other. It really elevates humanity altogether.
They say the quickest ways out of depression are through service and gratitude. The amount of love you have for this little bird is so apparent. And I guess that's what made you happy, find happy. You had a reason to live, to elevate, to provide, to create.
Yeah.
It's a very creative relationship between you two, right?
Oh, very much
The
so.
nest building and the tapping and the...
Very much
How
so.
would you describe his personality?
Oh, my goodness.
Happy the Sparrow. Tell me who is Happy?
Oh, boy. He has got so much personality. It is absolutely crazy. He gets feisty. He hates the word no. Holy moly. He very much understands the word no and does not like it. He gets extremely curious. He gets very loving, very, very loving and flirty with he'll do like this little dance and these little chirps, and it's like the cutest thing on the planet. He gets angry. Oh boy, man, he hates my glasses, especially during mating season, and he will literally sit on my glasses and then try and rip my eyebrows out because he wants me to take them off.
Wow.
He knows that's how he gets me to take them off.
Isn't it fascinating that he considers you his mate?
Yes.
I mean, I have
Yes.
that with my dog Fred because he really feels I'm his wife.
Yeah.
And prior to getting this little girl, and it's very surprising because for some reason, this little girl, he's totally accepted her, but he was very jealous of anyone coming and talking with me. He would bark through conversations because I was his one. Just like a man. Isn't it fascinating? Some men. Isn't it fascinating that bond can
Yes.
really,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
really,
yeah.
really happen? What's he taught you about dating?
He's taught me that having a sparrow is not ideal for dating.
No, but has he taught you about good manners? I mean, he built you a nest and
Yeah, my worth. Yeah.
self-worth.
With self-worth has definitely come, the confidence part of it and self-worth has come from that. I mean, I've been writing screenplays for 17 years and writing because I just am so passionate about storytelling and want to tell stories with purpose. And when I say stories with purpose, it doesn't have to be a documentary. It can be a comedy with a great message. It can be a psychological thriller about, mental health. There are purposeful messages in a lot of movies that are out there.
I loved your storytelling. I thought it was so divine. I mean, just finding happy, your journey with it. I thought you're a wonderful, wonderful storyteller. You're definitely doing what you're meant to be doing. And I also loved the fact you went off across America and you met all these other people who had extraordinary experiences with animals, giving everybody permission to go find a wild or tame animal. And what was it like to meet other kindred spirit? Was that also healing?
Super healing. So that journey started in such an interesting way because my story with Happy went viral. An executive producer by the name of Jim Greenbaum, who he executive produced Game Changers, Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy. So some great documentaries, all vegan focused and animal. And then he came to me and said, I would like to produce a movie about you and Happy. And I was so far away from my heart center, my purpose, my passion, that when he came to me, he like relit that flame, right? That, oh,
Wow.
right. Like,
It only takes one, right?
it takes one. And like,
That's why we
yeah,
gotta communicate, be good to each other, right?
very much so. It takes one human that can light that spark in someone else. And it's such a big thing for another human. When you have the capability to do that for someone else, what a gift. And to do it. And so Jim did that for me in that moment. And he was like, I want to make a documentary about you and your sparrow. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Then I was like, wait, people aren't going to watch a documentary about me and a bird in a room. I was literally renting a room, living in a room. At that point, Moon had passed. And so it was me and Happy. And, you know, I was teaching him how to fetch, and we were learning how to communicate. He'd give me kisses, and we were developing this whole communication. But I needed a story. I mean, I've been writing screenplays. I understand arc and storytelling. And so I thought, well, why not incorporate other unique human animal bonds within this story and find the through line of that? And so it became, finding Happy, and then it became interviewing other people about how their life improved.
How did you find those people? The chicken,
Social media.
the goose, the
So
goose lady.
interesting story about the goose.
Yeah, the goose was amazing.
Right? That's Cheryl.
Yeah.
Cheryl and I have known each other for 12 years. She
wow.
moved to Dallas and was having this experience with Honk while I was in LA having an experience with Happy. And we were like, what is going on?
Beautiful.
So she was my first interview, just to like, you know, because she's lovely. She's been on Broadway.
I
She's
loved Honk. He was like so like, I mean, and again, her story was so deep. You know, her partner going through breast cancer, the lockdown, but Honk, and the fact that Honk had lost his partner probably, and Honk needed her as much as she needed. It's so beautiful.
And the part that I love about that story too is that she said, you know, people were ignoring him, and she stopped and she gave him a minute. She listened. She stopped, and
She
all
gave
she
him a
did was
minute.
listen. And then he was like, "That's it. You're my person. I'm coming for you." You know, she gave him a moment, an ear, and that's what we do for each other too. But
Right.
animals need it too. This world, the whole world, our environment needs it. We're not listening as a collective, and it's really damaging to our home, our collective home.
Why do you think that is? Why are we not listening?
Oh gosh, I don't really know.
Consumerism,
I mean, I think it's
addiction
more,
to,
I think it goes deeper. I think it's arrogance, because the consumer.
and that's why we're fine to kill animals, euthanize the dogs, the cats, any animals
Right.
that, and we're not even feeling it.
Yeah, I feel like it's you know, I'm not here to tell anybody how to eat or what to do at all. That's
No.
not the purpose of the documentary. Isn't that?
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about finding happiness. But the way we do things is with such cruelty. You know, hunters and gatherers, like, they had it right. You know, they live
The
with
dignity,
the land. And,
yeah, the dignity and the prayers for what they were
Yes.
going to kill.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
the
very
guy that
different
had
thing.
the cow,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
the beautiful cow, and
Yeah.
the fact he said he had spent time around a slaughterhouse and it was so depressing. And then he had this beautiful relationship with this cow. Yeah, it makes us all think about, you know, I mean, I do eat meat.
Yes.
So, but it definitely made me think watching your documentary, you know?
Yeah. It's just there are concepts that have been compassion has been taken off the menu. And I think that's part of the problem, where we do things like, I mean, Cheryl mentions it in the doc, like foie gras. What is the point of even doing that? There's no point. I understand eating and needing to eat things, because I mean, we need to take care of our bodies, and we need to eat what fuels us. It's very important. I would never tell someone to stop doing something or eat a certain way. I don't live in their body. I don't know how they feel. But it's the way things are done. I think we've just got so far off of
The sacredness.
the
and
symbiotic living with the land. We should be
respecting each other
yes.
and weaving a community basically from that love and that respect.
Yeah, we should have a symbiotic relationship with the earth, and we do not have that. We have a parasitic one at this point.
Right. Just take whatever we
Yeah.
want. Just take it. So I have to tell you my story with Fred.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Fred is a apricot standard poodle.
Oh, I love it.
And I was about to record a bossa nova album. And I thought, what am I going to do to get fit? And I don't know why I didn't want to train her. And one day I saw a neighbor walking down the road with 3 dogs, sort of struggling along. I said, "Oh, how lovely that you have dogs," and he actually said, "Oh my, I've got 3. It's a lot." So I walked away and I went to the house and I was thinking, well, maybe he needs a hand. Maybe that's how I could get fit. So I text his wife. Basically, I said, "Would you like me to help walk one of the dogs?" Within 5 seconds, I get a text back and she said, "Yep, putting the leash on the gate."
I love it.
So I went down there and I opened the gate and I put him on the leash and he looked up at me like, "I don't know who the hell you are, lady, but okay, let's give it a go." And again, it was COVID. And, basically weeks went by, months went by. And I thank God for Fred, because I'm like you, I'm a performer. I don't do real well if I don't have anyone around to talk to create with. And we were so bonded. And then I was like, oh my God, if they ask for the dog back, I will be heartbroken.
Oh, wow.
And so one day I was driving with him in the car and I saw them and I said, "I have your dog. I'm not stealing your dog if you ever want your dog back." And they said, "We think you should keep him." So anyway, it's been a big love affair between him and I. And so it really is like a massive gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
To have one of these animals come in. And so what are your dreams now around animals? I think you
Oh.
should have a show.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, that's with Finding Happy. It would be nice to have a show and to really
A TV show.
TV
I would like
show.
you to go all over the
Yeah.
world. I loved it when you went to Thailand.
Yeah, Lek Taylor. She is just so her name means tiny, and she is tiny.
And she has 100 elephants now from
Yeah,
trying
over
to save
100.
one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so moved. I'd like to go meet her one day. I was so moved.
Oh, that Elephant Nature Park is one of the most wonderful places to go and visit. You can actually stay there and volunteer with the elephants.
100 elephants, this little woman. Look, that is the power, people, right? If
Yeah.
you step up for what you love. So Finding Happy won several awards. Where can people see it? Because I'm excited for people to see it.
Yeah, we did a really fun little festival run. It's a nonprofit documentary, so we didn't have a ton of funding to back up like a full festival run. We just kind of like nitpicked and did like little festival submissions. And we won Best Documentary at the Love and Hope Festival in Spain, where we
Brilliant.
premiered. Yes. We won a few different awards. We won Best Illuminate Film at the Lady Filmmaker Festival in Beverly Hills. We won Best Documentary at the Glendale Film Festival. So we've
Wow.
won some fun awards. We were at Newport Beach Film Festival. That was super fun. We just did the Illuminate Film Festival in Santa Barbara, which we were so proud to be a part of. That's a
Brilliant. That's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
so proud. And so you can find out exactly where to see it on Happy the Sparrow. So on his socials, and also at findinghappythefilm.com. Every time it's on a platform, it will be released on those sites, and you can find out where you can see the film.
Wonderful. And I'm excited for you because I know there are some pretty exciting platforms that are interested in the documentary.
Yes,
So
yes.
we'll see what's next for Happy. Maybe Happy's going global.
Happy is going global. That I can guarantee.
So what are the top 3 things you think that everybody should learn through connecting with an animal in the way you have?
I don't know if I could say what I think people should learn, because I think we all learn what we need in this lifetime, in any lifetime, if we're open to it. So I think when it comes to animals, they're such a gift. They are such a gift to us on this planet, in this time space reality, whatever you want to call it, in this universe. They're such a gift, and to be closed off to such a big gift is I think very sad. So I would just say, just be open to the connection. Be open to whatever that connection is, because there's just an immense amount to learn, to feel, that you can get from just that connection, from just being open to a connection. It's really miraculous. And it can be any type of animal. I mean, whatever tickles your fancy. I mean, I learned a ton holding a rose-toed tarantula who was just the
Wow.
sweetest little girl. You know, like it's amazing what kind of animals you can connect with.
Yeah, definitely raising a duck when, because they really bond with you. When I was a little girl, I raised a duck who just loved me. And I had her in my home for quite a long time until she started flying. And then I had to take her back to the wild. But the amazing thing was the first and second time I took her to a beautiful place called Hazelmere that had this lovely lake. And the first and second time I went back, she recognized me. And she got out of the lake and she pecked me all over. And it was so sweet that she remembered me. So I know you have a new project, very exciting, another project that's really close to my heart, because it's called Got Daddy Issues. Talk to us about that, right? This is for womankind. Is it about their relationships with their dad?
Yeah, it's a big comedy. There's a lot of big laughs in it, but the heart of the story is how fathers affect their daughters and how we then, as daughters, go out into the world in our lives and how we interact with the people who we partner with. And so it's a big comedy with a lot of heart.
And this one is it's a scripted, and you are one of the actresses in it. Who else did you write it with, or how did it come into being?
Yes, so I co-directed and co-wrote with my writing partner of 13 years, Meg McKegg. So we wrote this script 13 years ago, and it took this long for us to make it after being, pardon my expression, but dicked around in Hollywood for a little bit on it.
Oh, God.
The
Beast, Hollywood.
Beast, Hollywood. And honestly, it took us, and Happy has a big part of this in me because Finding Happy is my directorial debut. It's my first film. And that gave me the confidence to go, oh, I can do this. So my confidence came from making that movie. And then Meg and I just went, you know what? We got tired of really, I can tell you stories about us getting dicked around by people in this industry, which I won't, but I could. But we finally just went, we can make this movie. It's a story that we want to tell. It's a story that is inspired by our relationships with our fathers. It is not like our stories, but it is inspired by. So the relationships the fathers and daughters have hold the emotion around the relationships that we had with our fathers. And there's a lot of truth in the stories. So it's a very personal story. We've both lost our fathers since writing this movie. They would both be smiling down at us laughing because they both have very good senses of humor. But the stories are very personal. We literally just had to get the confidence to make it ourselves. And we had amazing humans show up. Our third lead girl. So Meg and I co-directed, co-wrote, and co-star in it. And
it's very funny. I love the trailer. I really saw myself in there. Actually, some of the things you ladies do, I was like, yep, done that one. I love the fact it's a comedy, that you're laughing at it.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. I love to laugh, and comedy is a big part of my life. Finding Happy has a lot of funny moments as well. Because when you laugh, you open, everything's open, your chest is open, everything's and you can receive a lot better that way too. So I find there's a lot of fun in a comedy that has some really sweet messaging behind it.
Yeah, and it's something that affects one half of the population. And
it affects a lot more than that because it affects the fathers too.
Of course. My father was wild. He was like Jim Morrison. That's why I went off into the world and wanted to sing rock like Jim Morrison.
I love it.
I think you can go two directions with the daddy issues. You can either pattern and choose men just like your dad, or you go, I went in the opposite direction and I chose men that were so far unlike my father. And in a way, that can at times be a problem because there are things that you also learned and adored about your father. So bringing it into the middle ground, right? And the things that, maybe it just all comes down to what makes you happy again.
Yeah, and knowing what makes you happy. I think sometimes we get into these patterns. I definitely chose men who were emotionally
unavailable. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
How do you think you get over the daddy issues? Is it being conscious of them? You know, like if you have fears of intimacy
Yeah.
because your father was never intimate, or you choose men who have intimacy issues, who are runners, they don't stick around. Is it overcoming that and then looking for someone who can?
Yeah, I think it starts with being conscious of it, but that doesn't mean the issue is going to go away.
Mhm.
I think it starts with being conscious, um, and also being willing to get a little uncomfortable with feelings. That's been my big one. I'm being vulnerable with a partner because that hurt. You carry that hurt. I mean, my dad left my mom when I was 7, and he basically had a whole other family, like not his own blood. I'm my own. My dad's only like blood child, like by blood, but he moved in with another woman and was there till the day he died, and she had 3 sons, and one of them was exactly my age, and we went to the same school. I didn't even know him. So I think that things like that we can carry around for a long time without even being conscious when it happens at such a young age. You just build these walls that you're not conscious of. I do think, I'm an advocate for therapy and healing, different healing modalities, and I think different things work
So
for
you
different
had to
people.
bring that up and make it more conscious. Did you
Yeah.
choose men that were inclined to have other families or other relationships going on, or did you avoid that?
Not that necessarily. I've been cheated on, but nothing that I've heard stories, basically. Nothing extraordinary. And I've been the one who's been emotionally unavailable, like 100% emotionally unavailable, and would get like, yeah, flighty.
If someone
We have a runner.
the runaway bride.
Yeah.
I think you're going to meet a man through your connection to animals. It's got to be someone else who has that passion. Do you find that going through this process of writing this beautiful script and playing these parts, have you become more conscious of your daddy issues?
Yeah, very much so. Daddy issues has been very cathartic.
There's a relationship
Yeah.
that reminds you of some of your
Yes. There's a
journey.
big part of it that reminds me of my journey with my own father. Yeah. And Eric Roberts plays my dad in the movie.
Wonderful.
We had some amazing actors show up for us and come play with
David
us.
was in it, right?
David Chokachi came in and did this amazing
Plays the hot
cameo.
guy.
He plays himself.
We love it when David plays the hot guy
He
for
plays
the
it.
world.
He literally plays himself.
Yeah.
And he's just so fun. He came out and he was so gracious, and
Yeah, everybody's got a crush on David. That's okay. Susan, I know his wife would be fine with us saying that.
100%. Yes. Yeah, he's just lovely. So he came out and did a cameo with us, and it's been really fun.
I think the world is waiting for this.
Yes, it's a female comedy made by women, made for women, produced by women, directed by women, written by women, starring women, mostly females running the whole set. We stayed on budget. Just want to say that. Yeah.
I like it. Power to the people. I love your tenacity. And, I have created all my own projects. I had a, record label with my sister and our investor, and we had to do everything from set up shows to produce videos, to produce documentaries, and we were 2 girls making it happen in the center of Hollywood. I think it's very inspiring to say, you can make it happen for yourself. You don't necessarily need the beast. And don't take the first deal, right? But wait till the right person shows up, and believe in yourself most of all, right?
I was going to say sometimes the right person is you.
Sometimes the right person is you.
Yeah, and by showing up, it doesn't mean that you show up with money. It's just show up. Just show up for yourself. Like,
I mean, and I think that is the really profound truth I'm hearing in everybody's stories that come here. Everybody that comes here is a self-starter. They have a big story because there has been a crossroad, moment where everyone said no, or there's been no pathway, and they have made the pathway. And that's what I'm getting from your story as well.
I had to lose everything and just be just done.
Mm.
And I think that finally allowed me to just let go and let kind of just the flow.
Let God, let something
let
come
God,
in.
Let universe, whatever.
Let the flow come and take you.
Let go and let it flow. Yeah.
Surf the wave.
Exactly. And I think that was the big thing. And there's a poem called Comes the Dawn. It's this really beautiful poem. And there's a line in it that is, I'm going to decorate my own, I'm going to plant my own garden and decorate my own soul instead of waiting for someone to bring me flowers.
Oh, I believe in that.
Yeah.
I'm always filling my bathtub full of roses
Love it.
when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And the other theme that I've been noticing in the beautiful stories and storytellers that come here, there's been a moment where something divine, something beautiful, something actually often from nature comes in and just transforms their lives. It's really all about being open, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to just keep being willing to take a chance on yourself. It's so important in life. Yeah.
Do you have any advice that you would give to a younger Maria or a young person, maybe who's in a dark space or a space where they can't see the light right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I'm biracial. I look super white, but I'm actually biracial.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
you're
also,
beautiful.
oh, well,
That's all I
thank you.
can see.
I'll take it. Um, but then also growing up, my parents split, which wasn't that common where I was living and at that time. So I felt very different. I always felt like I didn't fit in, and I carried that with me throughout my life. So if there was one thing I could kind of look back and tell myself and like hold my little Maria hands and say, you do fit in. Like we all fit in. Every
Mhm.
single one of us fits in. And just removing those parameters around feeling so much like an outcast.
Mm.
And part of that had to do with as well because I was so connected to animals that nobody understood that. No one else was walking caterpillars around the block in a stroller. You know what I mean? So it was you end up when you're different as a child and you feel so different, it can be a really scary place to sit. And then when your family unit shatters, it was like my grandfather died when I was 5, grandmother died when I was 6,
Mm.
dad left when I was 7. It was like the whole family unit shattered. And so I think I would go back to myself and be like, you do fit in, give yourself a bit of grace, and just know that it's all going to work out. Like if you just find your confidence, like find that confidence. I think confidence is such a big deal, and confidence causes so many issues, not only for children, but for adults. And I mean, I think confidence has us act out in fear and in being unkind and all sorts of things. I think confidence can help with a lot
Yes,
of
yeah,
that.
confidence. I think I was a very shy young woman and I turned to animals. Children these days with social media and everything, they're under so much pressure to look a certain way, to own certain things, right? It's such a pity if they're not getting to experience. I see the kids when I'm out with Fred and they light up, my dog. They light up when they see animals.
And I have friends who bring their kids to meet Happy. And
Wow.
this little tiny bird in their hand, these little kids, they're being so delicate and so gentle. And then if they come during nesting season, Happy will have them help him build a nest. He'll engage them into building a nest with them. And it blows people's minds, grown-ups and children alike. Animals have a way of bridging that gap
Mm.
and bringing us back into our that very innocent, pure heart place. If we just take a second to take it in,
Mm.
that I think that is the magical gift that animals really do. One of the magical gifts that animals bring us and bring humans is they have this way of just that purity and bringing us back there.
Opening your heart.
Yeah.
Well, I just love your whole journey that you're on, Maria. And I would love to see you have like a series that we could all watch where you travel around the world and have more of these beautiful experiences with people, which I had such a heart opening watching your documentary, like laughter and tears. Let's talk a little bit more about Moon. I know Moon was a huge part of your
Yeah.
life.
I mean, that's the thing with animals. When we have an animal who's truly a best friend and they're with us through so much. I don't want to talk about Moon.
That's okay. This is where we
I
cry.
know, right? I miss her so much. I wear her I wear her bracelet a lot. It's her collar, actually.
Mm.
This was her collar. Um, they go through life with us, and they're there with absolute non-judgment with no matter what we're going through. And to have that is such a big deal because I think most humans walk through life feeling so judged and we judge ourselves. So to have this presence of being with us with Moon, it was 15 years of non-judgment and tolerance and just being there. when we lose them, it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal. But then when I did lose Moon, so I was renting a room from some friends where I was staying, that's where I found happy, right? And I ended up having to put Moon down in the backyard. And so a couple
Oh
weeks,
gosh.
yeah, it was, and so she took her final breaths in my arms. We put her down in the backyard, and then I about 2 weeks later, I mean, I was just in a daze, like losing everything, then losing Moon, not having income, having no clue what to do next. And one of my friends came over, and so I was in the hot tub standing. My friend who came to visit was sitting above the hot tub looking at me and my friend Michael, who was in the hot tub behind me. And we're talking to my friend Dakota. We're going back and forth. And all of a sudden, out of the shadows, it was like dusk. Out of the shadows, I see Moon appear, jump 3 times, and disappear. And I was so far, my head was so turned around from everything that was happening that I went, okay, I didn't see that. Like, that's crazy, right? And then Michael, who was behind me, who's one of my dearest friends, he goes, please tell me you saw that. And I turn around, I look at Michael, and I'm like, what did you just see? He goes, did you just see Moon skip across the yard? And I went,
Wow. She visited.
she visited, and I think she knew, I, sorry. I think she knew enough that I was so far from my own heart and I wasn't trusting anything I was seeing or feeling at that point
Mm,
that she showed herself to Michael too, because I wouldn't have believed myself. I would have just
right.
chalked it up to me being in such a bad place.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. She wanted you to know that she was always going to be around
Yeah.
you.
And when she skipped like that, she would do that on the beach. That was her happiest place in the world.
Oh,
So her skipping like that was, I think she was just like, we're good.
I've
Yeah.
spent 20 years studying with Native American medicine women, and they believe we very much walk in 2 worlds, the spirit world and this material world. And so they believe we really do have spirit guides all around us, and that for them, the animals are all totems, all teachers. Are you open to feeling her now? Do you believe she's around you
Oh
all the
yeah.
time?
Oh yeah. I believe
So
she's,
your journey has taken you to that place.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely believe she's all around and she's had everything to do with everything. I am 100% convinced that she knew she was going and she brought me happy. And there is nothing that will change my mind in that. Nobody could come to me, well, the scientifically, I'd be like, nope, sorry. I'm like, I know what I know. And I think that's also something that animals can bring us is to trust our instincts and to trust what we know in here, not what we know up here, but what we know in the heart center, not what we know in our minds.
Mm.
There's this innate connection we have with the natural world that I think like indigenous peoples had that. They held on to that. They understand that. And we nowadays, I think, are a little far from that.
Mm.
And animals can bring us right back there in a heartbeat too. That's the interesting thing.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So what does finding happy mean to you now, Maria, as opposed to when you started out on this journey?
Instead of finding happy, what it means to me is find your happy. So, and where you find your happy is by connecting with the things that truly resonate with you. And I think a lot of people, if they go back, if they had childhoods where they were able to, there's some people have really awful childhoods where I think they've lost themselves very young. I was lucky enough to find myself in nature and through animals. So by reconnecting with that, I found my happy. And instead of trying so hard to find happy, it's like just reconnect with your heart center and then you'll find your happy that way. I really do believe that. Like I had to lose everything. And it happens to a lot of people. Oh, I lost everything and then I had this profound moment and their whole life changes. It happens so often. Same with illnesses. People get sick before they really focus on their health. But I feel like we can do it with a little more grace and a little more gently if we just really look within.
Find your happy. That's what Joseph Campbell said. He said, follow your bliss and doors will open where there were none. So if you can just find that thing that makes you feel alive and full of love, that is the way to take the road less traveled, but the road to your true destiny, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Because I found happy But then what that did for me was the doors opened. Oh, I would like to fund a documentary. Here's I get to speak in front of 500 children in Toronto in a school about grief and losing a pet. And, the doors opened by finding happy, but it's because I found my happy. Like I had no choice but to reconnect with nature when I lost everything.
And how fascinating, right? It wasn't about going out and doing a big audition or meeting a big producer.
Nope.
The way was within.
Yep.
It was when you tapped into yourself, then the doors opened.
Yeah. When I let go of thinking that I knew how it should happen and how it should be, and I have to do this, I have to follow these steps, especially with the creative arts. It's different for everyone. It's not like a corporate ladder where you just climb the ladder and you get to, it's so personal and particular, and you have to go within. You have to
go within.
Yeah. I feel like
the way is within.
The way is within.
The happy way.
Yeah. To find your happy.
I hope one day I come to your house and I meet Happy.
Oh, you can. You're more than welcome.
Oh yeah, I'd like to do that one day because I'm like I'm so intrigued. Anyway, I'm re-inspired to go out today and find my happy and just do whatever makes me happy, like whether it's an animal, whether it's storytelling, whether it's starting a new endeavor, whether it's finding a new friend, a new girlfriend, or a new guy friend. But coming from that authentic, heart, open place. And maybe in a way, they're training us to come from this open-hearted place, but then we can take that out to the world and to our relationships and our friendships and our love stories,
Exactly. Yeah. Go fall in love with something today.
Yeah, fall in love with something or someone.
Yeah, something, someone, a flower, a bee. Doesn't matter. It can be anything.
I love it, lady. Thank you so
That's
much.
What it is. That's what it is.
We're still running with the walls. What an honor and a pleasure. Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Well, thanks to Moon and thanks to Fred and David for bringing us together.
Yes.
And thanks to you for being brave enough to put it all out there.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me.